What is going on, guys? Welcome to Greggles TV Daily, your source for daily tech news. Make sure you subscribe so you know what's going on in the world of tech. How is everyone doing? I hope you're having a fantastic day. We've got one story and we've got one question, but the question is really a story as well. So without further ado, let's jump into this. Our first story of the day has to do with Galaxy S23 phones that were ordered from Samsung, sent by Samsung, and delivered, at least here in the United States, via FedEx. And let's talk about the phone first and just quick initial impressions of it. I haven't used it that much, but I absolutely love this purple color. It's kind of this palish, pinkish, beige, purple color. I love it. And it looks really sophisticated. It looks really nice, really high quality. I love it. It's amazing. I really, really like the look of the phone this year. It's awesome. Then you've got the more flat display than last year. I'm gonna compare it against the S22 Ultra. I probably will try to plan on releasing that video. I'm gonna try for this week, hopefully in the next day or two or three, in order to get that done. I've got a trip coming up. I'll be going to the NBA All-Star game, actually. But I'm gonna try to get it out before that, or at least record it and release it during then. But so far, so good. Nice, very nice phone. I want to talk about, like I said, Samsung, FedEx, and the delivery process, because I think that it's kind of sketchy. And I say it's kind of sketchy in that Samsung has it so that you do not have to sign for your package when they ship this phone out to you when it gets delivered. And that's pretty crazy, because this phone, if you have to buy it outright, is like $512. That's like a $1,300, $1,400 phone. Now, if you factor in trade-ins and all that, sure, it's less. I understand that. But ultimately, it's like between a $1,300 and a $1,500 phone for you after taxes and everything. It's very, very expensive. And Samsung and FedEx just allow them to just leave it at your doorstep. Now, I'll wholeheartedly admit, I personally prefer it that way. I don't want to have to wait around to sign for a package or to release it. Send it to me. So when I talk about this, don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm on the other side being like, you better have it, so it needs to be signed for unless I'm there. I'm fine with the way they do it now. But I want to stress that they should at least give you the option in order to do that, because it's pretty crazy. Some people live in some rough neighborhoods or even a good neighborhood, and you might have a porch pirate that goes and grabs your package. You lost your phone, and potentially you're gonna go through the hassle of dealing with Samsung and FedEx and all that, saying, hey, my package got stolen. What if they don't resend you another one for free? What if you're out that amount of money because they didn't have it secured in terms of you having to sign for that package? That's a bad thing. It's a crappy thing, and it's an annoying thing. And I think Samsung should offer that as a service as to why they don't. Well, if you want it or not. And ultimately, I don't think they offer it because of a couple of reasons. I was talking to my friend, he gave me this idea anyway for the whole video. I was like, you know what, he's right. I was telling him, I think Samsung doesn't offer, when they send out these phones to you, in order for you to sign it, because it's an extra cost. If you've ever sent something via FedEx or UPS or USPS, it's an extra cost of usually between like $3 and $6 per package in order for it to be signed for. And if you do that on Samsung's end, and they're probably sending hundreds of thousands, if not millions of these phones out via the mail, and if each one has to be signed for, that's a lot of money. It's millions, it's at least hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not tens of millions of dollars. That's a lot of money lost. And when you factor that in and you're like, how many people's packages are actually getting stolen that aren't being signed for versus them paying for every package to be signed for, it probably equates out to where they're like, you know what, if your package gets stolen, whatever, we'll deal with the hassle and the frustration from you. And however they rectify that with you, if at all, is what they'll prefer to go with, rather than paying to have it secured and have it signed for the package to be delivered. But at the same time, should they put that cost on the consumer if you want it to get it signed, or should they be paying for it? I feel like they should be paying for it. Once these phones are built, they're a few $100 usually in order to build these phones. And it's not like these phones cost $1,100 to make and they're charging you $1,200 and they're making $100 profit. Off the phone, they're probably making, just profit-wise, they're probably making $500 to $700 profit, if not more. Now, there is R&D costs, there's manufacturing costs, they got to pay for their employees' health insurance. So I know that profit really isn't $500 to $700. But when you factor in the cost of the lost phone versus how much it actually costs to make, it's not that much for them in general. So how do you guys feel about Samsung not requiring a signature when these are delivered? I'm very, very curious. I think they should offer it at the very least when you're checking it out. Do you want this to be signed? Do you want to have to sign for in order to get this delivered, or no? Give the consumer the option, put it on the consumer. Don't just take it away completely and not have the customer feel secure. I think that should be the ultimate goal for that. So let's get into our Q&A. Like I said, it is kind of a story, so let's just jump into that. Wreck-It Brewery is asking, do I think the deals will get any better after the 17th, or should we just pull the trigger now and grab the S23 now? So what I think will end up happening is, and this is usually what they do. So like they have their initial pre-order, and during the pre-order, you get pretty much $100 or $150, maybe $200 of free gifts. And that is also added on to the trade-in value of your phone that you throw in, and they'll give you a pretty good trade-in value. What generally happens after the pre-order is over is they remove the pre-order gifts, or they limit them hugely. But what they do is they take that $100 or $150, $200 of trade-in credit, and they generally reduce the amount of the phone that you'll potentially have to pay for. Meaning that when you want to buy the phone, sure, you might not get any pre-order gifts, but you will get, or you will pay less for the actual phone, which I think for a lot of people, especially for me at this stage, that's what I would preferably have, is don't get the pre-order gifts, don't get anything else, but pay less for the phone. And that's generally what they do. Will they do that this year? I don't know. I'd have to expect they will. Who's to know though? Especially with sales, I feel like not being as strong as last year. I can tell by my own affiliate, my affiliate money that I get usually from selling these phones is literally a third of what it usually is. So I don't make this much money, but let's just say I make $1 million. Or say I make $100. Say I make $100 total from all the sales of the Samsung phone. It's $30, something like that. So it's way less than it has been before. So I have to assume that they're gonna do something pretty nice when the 17th or 18th rolls around for this. And I think it will be, again, way less free gifts, but you'll pay less for the phone than people do now. That's what will end up happening, most likely. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have a question, leave it in the comments down below with a hashtag question, and we'll see you down the road. Peace.